friends, and welcome back to our story corner. Today, we're flying high into the sky to visit the bustling town of Gearville. Are you ready for an adventure? Let's go. High above the busy streets and honking cars of Gearville, a small, eager helicopter named Choppy was always on the move. Choppy was a hero in his own way. He rescued people from tricky spots, delivered important mail to the highest mountain peaks, and loved soaring through the clouds, looking down at the tiny world below. His job was important, and he was very good at it. But Choppy had a secret, a deep-down wish that made his rotor blades droop just a little. He wished he was a race car. Every day, he'd hover near the big racetrack just outside of town. He'd watch the sleek, colorful race cars as they zoomed around the track, becoming a blur of speed and excitement. The crowd would roar as they sped past the finish line. "Oh, I wish I could go vroom instead of WHOP-WHOP-WHOP," Choppy would sigh to himself. He'd look down at his landing skids and imagine they were spinning wheels. Flying is nice, he'd think, but real speed, that's what gets you noticed. No one ever cheers for a slow hover. He felt like his special talent wasn't flashy enough. His best friend in the whole world was a reliable, friendly taxicab named Cabby. Cabby was always grounded, both literally and with his advice. He'd see Choppy looking sad and try to cheer him up. "Choppy, you're amazing," Cabby would chirp, his engine purring gently. "You can go straight up into the air. You don't need roads or bridges. No car in the world can do what you do." But Choppy wasn't convinced. "I want the thrill, Cabby," he'd whine. "I want to feel the wind rush past me on the ground. I want the speed." He dreamed of the cheers, the checkered flag, and the glory of being the fastest vehicle in gear. He just couldn't shake the feeling that he was missing out on all the fun. Then, one bright and sunny Saturday, the perfect opportunity arrived. It was the day of Gearville's annual amazing all-terrain race. This wasn't just any race. It was a massive loop all around the city that tested every kind of vehicle. The course included smooth city roads, bumpy dirt hills, and even a daring crossing over the wide Gearville River. "This is my chance," Choppy thought, his rotors spinning with excitement. This was his moment to prove that he could be just as fast as any car. He flew straight to the racetrack, where all the racers were lining up. He found the chief race marshal, a stern-looking tow truck with a flashing light. "Please, sir, you have to let me compete," Choppy begged, hovering nervously. The marshal looked up, surprised. "But Choppy," the marshal said, his voice a low rumble, "you're a helicopter. You don't have wheels for ground speed, and your rotors ... They'll create so much wind. It would be unfair and dangerous for the other racers." Choppy was determined. "I promise I won't use my rotors to fly," he insisted. "I'll just use my landing skids to slide along the ground. I'll stay low. I'll be the fastest ground vehicle ever. You'll see." He pleaded and pleaded. Finally, the marshal, getting tired of arguing and seeing the hopeful look in Choppy's eyes, gave in. All right, he sighed. "You can join, but you have to promise to stay slightly behind the other racers at the start so your rotor wash doesn't cause any trouble." Choppy was overjoyed. He took his place at the starting line, his heart pounding faster than his blades. The flag went down, and the race began. Vroom! The race cars exploded off the line, a rainbow of speed and power, leaving a cloud of dust behind them. This was it. Choppy lowered himself onto his skids and tried to run on the asphalt screedage. The sound was awful. His metal skids weren't made for this. They dragged heavily on the road, scraping and screeching. Instead of zooming, he was inching along. It was painfully, embarrassingly slow. He looked up. The other cars were already tiny specks in the distance. He felt his hopes sink. "This is impossible," Choppy groaned, his engine sputtering with frustration. He was trying so hard to be a car, but everything about him was designed for the sky. His rotors, which were supposed to lift him up, were now just catching the wind and slowing him down even more. Just then, he saw a familiar yellow shape drive past him on the public road that ran alongside the racetrack. It was Cabby. His friend gave him a friendly toot-toot of his horn and a little wave as he sped past. Seeing Cabby so effortlessly cruise by made Choppy feel even worse. He was failing. Suddenly, ahead, the race course took a sharp, tricky turn. The cars were heading into a dense forest path, which led to the muddy banks of the river crossing. The super-fast race cars, built for smooth tracks, had to slow down to a crawl. They carefully navigated the winding, bumpy turns and tried not to get stuck in the mud. Watching them struggle, something clicked inside Choppy's mind. He saw the long, winding path through the trees and the slow, careful river crossing. And then he looked up. He saw the clear, open sky. He was wasting his time trying to be something he wasn't. Enough of this, Choppy declared loudly to himself. I am a helicopter, and it's time I start acting like one. With a new sense of purpose, he revved his engine and lifted off the ground. WHOP, WHOP. The sound of his rotors was no longer a boring noise to him. It was the sound of freedom. He left the scraping and scratching behind. He completely ignored the twisting road below. Who needs roads when you have the sky? Choppy flew straight over the dense forest, looking down at the cars struggling between the trees. He flew straight over the steepest, bumpiest hills that made the cars bounce and sway. And then he flew straight over the wide Girville River, watching the cars line up to cross the rickety bridge, one by one. He was flying, he was using his own special talent, and he was fast. Incredibly fast. He arrived at the finish line a full 5 minutes before the first race car even emerged from the forest path. The crowd, who had been watching the race on the big screens, went absolutely wild. They jumped to their feet, cheering and clapping. But they weren't cheering because he was a fast car. They were cheering for his brilliant, quick thinking and his amazing flying. The chief race marshal drove up, his light flashing with excitement. He handed Choppy the winner's flag. Choppy, the marshal said, his voice full of admiration. You didn't win the race as a car. You won as a helicopter. You used one ability that no one else here has, the ability to go straight up and fly over any obstacle. Choppy looked at his spinning rotors, then at the cheering crowd, and then at the winner's flag. He felt a huge surge of pride swell up inside him. His WHOP-WHOP-WHOP wasn't a boring sound at all. It was the sound of being unique. It was the sound of his own amazing power. He spotted Cabby waiting for him near the winner's circle. Choppy flew down to his best friend. Cabby, I'm so sorry, he said, feeling a little sheepish. I spent so much time wishing I was fast like the race cars. But today I realized I'm already the best at being a helicopter. Cabby chuckled, his headlights twinkling. That's the best speed of all. Choppy, he said warmly, the speed of being yourself. There is no one in the world better at being you than you. From that day on, Choppy stopped wishing he had wheels. He flew with his head held high and his rotors spinning with pride. He knew that his unique ability to hover, rescue, and fly straight up into the sky was far cooler and far more special than any race car's speed. He was Choppy the helicopter, and that was the best thing he could possibly be. And that's the story of Choppy and the need for speed. Remember, just like Choppy, you have your own special talents that make you amazing. Thanks for joining our story time today. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures. See you next time. Bye!